Talking to you about how to install mosaic tile. Working in the kitchen, what we want to do is install mosaic tile over the stove underneath the microwave. We're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to actually frame in the tile first and lay in the mosaic inside of it. Okay, we're going to be going from this tile here over about 7 or 8 tiles over. We're going to frame this in with some border, and I call it just a frame border. And what I'm doing is I'm actually doing what I call a picture frame, so I'm cutting the corners at a 45-degree angle. That way when we butt it up, everything looks nice and neat. Okay, so here what I've done, I've made my 45-degree angle, and I've already marked that out where I want the cut to be. Then I'm going to cut the tile at the desired angles. Okay, it's always a good idea to go ahead and lay everything out before you start trying to assemble the mosaic tile and the framework. So I've got everything laid out the way that I want it, and I've measured outside to outside to make sure it fits within the perimeter that I want. I've measured the inside both left and right and up and down, and now I'm ready to cut out my tile and lay it inside to make sure everything fits the way it should. Now my distance on the inside of the frame is 28 1/4, and I've laid 2 of these side by side and I get 24 1/4. So I need at least 8 more rows to the left and to the right to fill in the space that I have in the side of the frame. Now how I do that is I'm go ahead and make my measurement, and I look at my tape, and it says that it's 8 inches right here. So I take a razor blade and cut the back of the matting and score it like so. Then it just lifts up. Take that to the side. So I've got 8 inches here. So what I'm going to do now is put this back together, add an additional, and I should come up with the proper distance. Okay, so I've measured the inside of my frame, and now I'm going to get that measurement here. Now I cut out the distance all the way through. And again, you just take a razor. Make sure you stay in the same line. And then you're done. Okay, now I have everything set the way I want to, and I'm ready to go ahead and install this on the wall. Okay, to start this, I'm going to introduce a couple of tools to you. This is what we call the hollow leave-in spacers, and to do this job they're 1/8 inch, and that's what we need to do this entire mosaic installation. Okay, so we've already got our piece cut here, the bottom left and the frame itself. So now we're ready to install. What I'm going to do is take some mastic, put this on like so, and cover the whole part, and then you just grout the end of it. You want to make sure this sticks. And so then it looks like so. It's got the little trowel marks in it. Got the grooves in it. So I'm going to line it up. Make sure I have everything directly in the corner, as it should be. Okay, now do the same thing with this vertical piece. And what I'm trying to do is go ahead and line everything up. You want to have a couple of hollow leave-in spacers handy. So I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did here. Ready? So it's got the grooves in there again. Now we're ready to put everything in the way it should be. I'm going to lay this in here, and I've already got spacers in there to begin with. Now what I do here is go ahead and just put in some spacers right here. Just like so. I'm going to hold it there for a second. Okay, looks like that piece doesn't want to stay, that's fine. And I've got everything lined up the way it should look, and we're looking good. Now what I do, I just connect all the pieces all the way around, and once that's done, we'll go to put the mosaic inside. Now we're ready to go ahead and apply the mastic to the back of the mosaic. So there's several ways to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do the back rather than do the backer board, just because I want a little bit more control of the drying time and the way it's going to slide. So I'm just going to put the mastic all the way across. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but the grooves here on the trowel that you see that I'm making, on mosaic it should be 5/32. So as a point of reference, you'll want to get a 5/32 trowel for mosaic tile. If you forget for any reason, it's on the back of the instructions for this. Now we're ready to mount this. Alright, I'm going to have to do this one-handed, but immediately you should start positioning everything. You want to have your spacers available. You want to make sure everything's straight. So I'm going to slide this down to the point. Keep some pressure on there. Now once you set this, it'll pretty much stay. I'm going to go ahead and adjust it to the left a little bit. You have to be careful when you push on the tiles because you can get one out of sync or out of line, and it makes the whole row, vertical or horizontal row, just not look as good. Alright, so that's ready there. Now, as a point of reference, I'm going to go ahead and put the top on this section and then move and put the rest of it up and then put the top on completely. Okay, I've got the top part set now, and what I'm going to do is put the next all the way across and then put the cross members up, and then I'll come back and show you how to make sure everything's straight. Now we've got this up, and what you do, you take a board like so and you just temper it. Just make sure that everything is done all the way across and that it's all set. And what this does, it pushes the tile up against the wall, make sure that you have a clean flat surface, and that not any of the mosaic tile sticking out further than it should.